of a matrix by a scalar. What do we mean by multiplying a matrix by a scalar? So if we have a scalar k and if we multiply it by a matrix A, what do we get? That's what we are going to learn now. Suppose the scalar k is equal to 3 and suppose the matrix A is 1, 2, 2, 2, 5, 7. So now for this set of k and A, what is k multiplied by A or A multiplied by k? It is equal to 3 times 1, 2, 2, 5, 2, 7. So how do we get the product of a scalar and a matrix? We multiply each element by the scalar. So here we get 3 times 1, 3 times 2, 3 times 2, 3 times 2, 3 times 5, 3 times 7. So framing out a proper definition of multiplying a matrix by a scalar. What do we get? Multiplying a matrix by a scalar results in multiplying each and every element by the scalar. So multiplying a matrix by a scalar is same as multiplying each and every element of the matrix, each and every element of the matrix by the same scalar. So let's talk about some properties. First, let's talk about some properties of matrix addition and subtraction. So properties of matrix addition and subtraction. First, that they are of the same order. That is the requirement of adding matrices and subtracting matrices, that the matrices should be of the same order. So other than that, the one property is that the addition of and subtraction of matrices is commutative. So A plus B is equal to B plus A. The addition of matrices is commutative. The addition of matrices and addition and subtraction of matrices is also associative. So if we have A times B minus C, this is same as AB minus AC. They also hold under the cancellation law. That is, if we have an equation which gives A plus C is equal to B plus C. Now they hold under the cancellation law. What does this mean? That if we have this equation of matrices where A, B and C all are matrices, then we can cancel off the C on both sides and get A is equal to B. So they apply under the cancellation law. And what is the last property? The last property says that they have a unique additive identity. All the matrices have a unique additive identity. What does this mean? This means for every matrix there exists a unique matrix which when added to the original matrix gives us the null matrix. So if we have a matrix A, there exists a unique matrix A additive inverse which when added to the matrix A gives us the null matrix. So for example, if the A matrix is 2, -3, 1, 5. So there exists a unique matrix which when added to this matrix gives us the null matrix. So in this case, what is the additive inverse? -2, 3, -1, -5. This is the additive inverse of this particular matrix. So there exists a unique additive inverse for every matrix in present with us or available to us. There is one note we need to make about the addition and multiplication of matrices, that all the laws of ordinary addition, subtraction and multiplication also apply for the addition, subtraction and the scalar multiplication of a matrix. So what do we mean by this statement? By this statement I mean to say that all the laws which we have learned in our previous classes of addition, subtraction and multiplication also apply for the case of matrices. So we know how to add 2 plus 3. We know 2 plus 3 is equal to 3 plus 2. That's why this also applies for the matrices. If A plus B is equal to something, then B plus A is also equal to the same thing. 2 plus 3 is equal to 5, so 3 plus 2 is also equal to 5. All the laws and facts which we know about the normal addition and subtraction and multiplication of simple numbers, they also apply in the case of matrices. In the case of matrices, addition laws apply for the addition, the normal number subtraction laws apply for the subtraction of matrices, but the normal multiplication laws of numbers apply only to the scalar multiplication of matrix. For example, multiplying a matrix by a scalar. We are not talking about the multiplication of matrix by a matrix. So we have not talked about it yet. But right now I am talking that all the multiplication laws which we have learned till now also apply for the case of multiplication of matrix by a scalar. Let's talk about multiplying a matrix by a matrix. Let's learn how do we do that. So multiplication of matrix by a matrix. Multiplication of a matrix by a matrix. So if we have a matrix A which is 1 3 1 2 0 0 1 minus 2 0, and another matrix B 2 4 3 1 0 0 0 0. How do we multiply A by B? Multiplying a matrix by a matrix. To multiply a matrix by a matrix, first of all there are some requirements which we'll talk about later, but first let's see the process. If let's say the requirements are met, then what is the process of multiplying a matrix by a matrix? Let's learn that with the help of this example. So what we need to do is we multiply the first row elements with the first column elements to get the first row first column element of the multiplier matrix. So in this case, let's suppose A by B matrix is this. So the first element of first and first column is found out by multiplying the elements of the first row with the corresponding elements of the first column of B. So multiplying 1 by 2, this is 1 into 2 plus 3 into 4 plus 1 into 3. Similarly, the next element we get by multiplying the first row with the second column of B. So the second element is equal to 1 into 1 plus 3 into 0 plus 1 into 0. Similarly, the third element of the first row is multiplying the first row of A with the corresponding elements of third column of B. So this is equal to 1 into 0 plus 3 into 0 plus 1 into 0. Similarly, for the second row of A into B, we do the same process with the second row of A, and for the third row of A into B, we do the same process with the third row of A. So that's how we multiply. We'll learn how to multiply matrices more by taking some examples, and by practicing the multiplication of matrices together, we'll get a grasp of the concept. Right now it is looking at more of an abstract thing, but with more and more examples and more practicing, we'll get to know how to multiply matrix with a matrix. We'll take a lot of questions regarding that. But first, let's talk about the requirement which I was saying about. Let's suppose we are multiplying A by B. Now let's suppose A has the order C by D, B has the order E by F. Now there is one requirement to multiply two matrices, that first of all the first matrix, let's call it the pre-matrix. This is called as a pre-matrix. Let's call the second matrix as the post-matrix. So the number of columns of the pre-matrix must be equal to the number of rows of the post matrix. So for example, in this case, D, the number of columns of A must be equal to E, the number of rows of B. So here D must be equal to B. This is the requirement to multiply a matrix by a matrix, that the number of columns of the pre-matrix must be equal to the number of rows of the post-matrix, i.e. the second matrix. There also one more thing, that we before calculating beforehand, we know that what will be the order of A into B. So if the order of A is C into D and the order of B is E into F, we know that what will be the order of A into B. The order of A into B will be order of A into B will be the number of rows of the pre-matrix multiplied by the number of columns of the post matrix. I.e., for this case, what is the number of rows of the pre-matrix? It is C, and the number of the columns of the post matrix, it is F. So the order of A into B, so the order of A into B in this case will be F. That's how we find the order of multiplication of two matrices. Now let's talk about some properties of multiplication of matrices. So we are talking about properties of the multiplication of a matrix by a matrix. So we are talking about the multiplication of matrices with matrices. So first property is that this may be commutative or may not be commutative. So basically, if we have two matrices A and B, we don't know anything about the commutativity of A into B. For example, if one matrix is A and one matrix is B, then we do not know that AB will be equal to BA or AB will not be equal to BA. AB will be equal to BA or AB will not be equal to BA. It can be either of this case. We don't know anything about this. It may be commutative also, it may not be commutative. We can't say anything about this. So second property is associative property. Associative property. So we know that whenever two matrices are multiplied together, they follow the associative property. So A times BC is equal to AB times C. So if we have three matrices A, B, C, then the multiplication of A with the product of B and C is equal to the product of A and B multiplied with the matrix C. The multiplication of matrices follows. Also, as we talked before, the multiplication follows distributive over addition. So if we have three matrices A, B and C, then A times the summation of B plus C and C is equal to A times B plus A times C. So the multiplication of matrices follows the distributive property over addition. Now the last and very important thing about multiplication of matrices is that if suppose AB equal to 0, then from this it is not necessary that either A or B should be 0. It is not necessary that A or B should be 0. I can write it in this way that A or B may or may not be 0. Either of A or B may or may not be 0. So let's talk more about the fourth point here. It's a very important point. So the fourth property said that if AB equal to 0, either A or B or both may or may not be 0. At first this property looks a bit odd because we are used to the multiplication of normal numbers, in which when two numbers are multiplied and if we get the to 0. But that's why I said the properties of multiplication we have learned till now follow with the multiplication of matrix by a scalar, but not with the multiplication of matrices with matrices. We can have a case when matrix A into matrix B is equal to 0, but both matrix A and matrix B are not equal to 0. Let's take example here to understand this. So let's say we have matrix A 2, 3, 1 and 1, 3, 2. Let's say we have a matrix B 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 3. Now let's suppose we need to find out AB. Here we know that both A and B are non-zero. They are not. Neither of them is null matrix. Now let's talk if we can find AB or not. If the pre-requirements of multiplying a matrix by a matrix are filled or not. So what is the order of A here? It is 2 by 3. What is the order of B? It is 3 by 2. So what was the requirement? The number of columns of A must be equal to the number of rows of B. So number of columns is 3, number of rows is 3, they are equal. So yeah, sure, we can find AB. And what will be the order of AB? It is equal to the number of A into the number of columns of B. So the order will be 2 by 2. This is a thing we can be sure of before even solving the multiplication. We can directly know the order of AB. So now let's calculate AB. So making a matrix of order 2 by 2. Let's take some more space. So we'll calculate AB over here. So let's calculate the first element in the first one, first column first. So it is equal to 2 times 1 plus 3 times 2 plus 1 times 1. Two times 1 okay, so let's calculate this element over here. It is equal to 2 times 2 plus 3 times 1 plus 1 times 3. Now what is this element? 1 times 1 plus 3 times 2 plus 2 times 1. Now what is the last element? 1 times 2 plus 3 times 1 plus 2 times 3. This is equal to 2 times 1 2 plus 3 times 2 6 plus 1 times 1 1 is equal to 9 plus 7 plus 3 10 1 plus 6 plus 2 8 9 and 2 plus 3 plus 6 11. So this is the multiplication of A with B. That's how we multiply two matrices. As I said earlier, I've shown you how to multiply a matrix. If we practice more examples of this, we can get a hand on multiplying a matrix with a matrix easily. Let's take one more example on matrix multiplication. So, taking another example, say A alpha is equal to cos alpha sin alpha minus sin alpha cos alpha. Suppose we define A alpha in this way. So we are asked to find out A alpha into A beta. What is A alpha into A beta equal to in the same terms? So we know A alpha. What is A beta? A beta equal to cos beta sin beta minus sin beta cos beta. So let's find out A alpha into A beta. It is equal to minus sin alpha sin beta cos alpha sin beta plus sin alpha cos beta minus sin alpha cos beta minus cos alpha sin beta and minus sin alpha sin beta plus cos alpha cos beta. So this is equal to this can be written as cos of alpha plus beta written as sin of alpha plus beta. This is equal to minus of sin of alpha plus beta, and this is equal to cos of alpha plus beta. So if we match this matrix with this matrix, what do we see here? That alpha has been replaced by alpha plus beta and everything else is the same. So basically this matrix can be written as A alpha plus beta, because we have just replaced alpha by alpha plus beta. So what is A alpha A beta in this question, which was the question itself, it is equal to A alpha plus beta. This is the answer. Now let's talk about some special matrices. We have talked about types of matrices, many properties of matrices, the algebra of matrices, but now there are some more special matrices, and let's talk about them. They also play a very important role in when we use matrices to solve the system of linear equations, and many a times they come handy